Rather than large, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be discussing Arsenal, Westam, the starting lineup, the changes that I will make to the last starting lineup, which players would I bring in and which players would I actually keep in the side. You know how much I love consistency in the starting 11, but of course I will make some changes. I think we should make some changes in the upcoming fixture. The importance of this game is also going to be discussed in this video, and what I think Mikel Arteta should do to try and beat Westam. Of course, there is a whole video on how to beat Westam and the tactical preview as well coming up on the channel a little bit later. So let's get the party started. Hit the like button for me, massively helps out, and also smash that subscribe button. I want to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and that's why I'm really putting out lots of content. So if you're new to the channel, help me subscribe right now. But let's start off with the starting lineup as Arsenal take on Westam. What do we expect and what do I want to see in that game? Now, I've gone with Aaron Ramsdale in goal. Look, there have been so many people coming out and telling me, Cossy, Ramsdale has fallen off a cliff. Cossy, they're trying to make me believe that Ramsdale has not actually been a very good goalkeeper in that spell we've been losing them games. But the truth is that our defense has become a little bit weak. It's become so suspect. I don't know why it is no longer holding opponents like the wall it was. And I think Ramsdale, if you look at most of the goals that he has actually conceded, I don't think you blame him, so much for those goals that we are conceding. I don't think it takes, a big part of the blame. Yes, there are times when he has tried to play out from the back, and then he has really lost concentration and made howlers like the one against Bruno Fernandes and things like that. But overall, I think he's still an okay goalkeeper. He's a young player and he's still learning. These mistakes are always going to happen day in, day out, time in, time out. So I don't want to see people coming out and telling me, Cossy, Ramsdale should go to the bench because he's actually conceding goals. Look, our defense as well needs to be questioned. Why are we becoming that porous? Why are we becoming, why are we recording less defensive actions per attack? I think that is one thing we've got to ask ourselves. But on the wing backs, Tavares stays in because we do not have an option there. But then Tomiyasu comes back. I think this is a very, very huge boost for Arsenal, especially going into a game like against a team like Westam, where you have the likes of Jared Bowen, massive threat. Look, there was a debate a couple of days ago, I think weeks ago. Would I take Jared Bowen or Bukayo Saka? And I froze. I absolutely froze. So in a game where West Ham do have that attacking threat on the flanks and on the wings, you need a player like Tomiyasu who is solid, a player who is very, very reliable, and a player who we think you can trust. So Tomiyasu for me comes back in against over Cedric. Cedric had a very poor game against Manchester United. Jadon Sancho was actually ripping him apart. And look, I think Jared Bowen for me is a bigger threat than Jadon Sancho, especially when it comes to output and when it comes to the season they're having. I think Sancho is more talented. I think Sancho is a very, very good player, but then Jared Bowen is also something else. So I think Tomiyasu needs to be in this game. He might not play against Jared Bowen, probably all the time. But then you remember they have players like Benrahma as well. The likes of Manuel Lanzini. They're so, they have very, very many players that are so good on the flanks. Tavares obviously stays in. Like I said, we do not have an option there. The centre-back pairing, Gabriel and Ben White, stays. I would definitely start them on any day. But I think they need to be more careful. And I'm not really scared. I'm not really scared about Mikel Antonio, because honestly, when Gabriel and White have faced a defensive, an attacking threat of a striker, be it Romelu Lukaku, be it Mikel Antonio, be it Cristiano Ronaldo, I think they've really done well. At times we concede, but I don't think really Ronaldo was, given that kind of freedom like a superstar, like many superstars, get, in games. And I thought it was courtesy of Gabriel and Ben White. So I think their defensive pairing has been good all season. They just need to they just need to improve and step up. The last 5 games, I'm not really convinced that all those goals are unavoidable. I think some of those goals that we've conceded in the previous 5 games are avoidable. So please, I just need a better performance from them, especially as we go into a game against Mikel Antonio. We know he's a very quality player, and he has, a very, very technical feeling about him, but then he's very physical, is able, very, very able in the air. So you need to be almost alert 24/7. The midfield pairing, Xhaka and Elneny, they've done very well against Manchester United and Chelsea. I'll definitely keep them. And I know many Arsenal fans would tell me, Cossy, I think we should keep them. So personally, I got no problems with keeping them. And I think this is a game where we can just ignore the midfield. We can play, we can run this game, using the flanks and using the high ends of the pitch rather than the midfield. And I'm gonna tell you why. So Odegaard as my number 10, Martinelli comes in, and then Saka and Eddie Nketiah. Now Saka is, according to Mikel, Saka is expected to be fit for Sunday. He struggled in the second half of the Manchester United game due to an injury. But of course, Mikel did say that he's going to be coming back very, very soon. Martinelli has not started in a while. It's been Emile Smith-Rowe, who I think had a very, very good game against Chelsea and a very good game against Manchester United as well. But I would definitely start Gabriel Martinelli over Emile Smith-Rowe. And the reason for that, Westam are going to be without 3 of their key defenders, 3 of their main defenders, and that is a huge boost. We need players that are really gonna try to run in behind. Obviously, their midfield is very strong with Declan Rice and Thomas Susek, so you just need to play those balls over the top. You just need to cut through the midfield. You just need to ignore the midfield and try to make sure that Saka, Martinelli, and Eddie Nketiah get to the ball. And when they get to the ball, you need players that are willing to run at that shaky defense. You need players that are really willing to, expose that shaky defense that's going to be displayed by David Moyes' side on Sunday. Martinelli is the right man for that. I think he's got everything that Saka has plus more. And I honestly think there is a lot to uncover. There is a lot to get from Gabriel Martinelli as compared to Saka. I think Saka's game will improve as a player if he adds more goals, and probably more assists. But with Gabi Martinelli, you look at him, he's a player that you think has more to offer in terms of, that individual brilliance and scoring goals and assisting and entertainment and things like that. So I would really play Martinelli and Saka and try to use them very, very high up the pitch. Reason, I want us to stretch the pitch and stretch that Westam side, right? So, guys, I know Mikel knows how important this game is, and it's a game where we come very, very confident. We should be very confident. We are coming off, 2 wins, back-to-back wins against Chelsea and Manchester United. That should boost our confidence, and just bring it to the level where we want to. Of course, we had lost 3 games on a bounce before winning those 2. But those 2 wins at the Emirates against United, at the Stamford Bridge against Chelsea, that should boost our confidence very, very much. And if that is not enough to boost our confidence, then what should boost our confidence then is the record we have against Westam. Westam have lost 33 Premier League games against Arsenal. Arsenal have not beaten any other side in the Premier League more times than they have beaten Westam United. That is a huge point. And given the fact that it is a London derby and we have won it so many times, it just adds more value and more sense to the statistic. We've not lost to them actually in the last 27 games we played against them since 2006-2007 when they completed a double against us. We've only lost 2 times. So they've only beaten us 2 times in the last 27 games. The last 13 times we've gone to their home, away from the Emirates, and we've visited them. We have 13 times. We have lost only once. Winning 8. Yeah. And drawing 4. So, look, honestly, lads, we do not have a better record than on a team than that. And I think that is one of the things that we really have to go into. But of course, West Ham also deserves some credit. This season, they've been massively, massively good. Right? Look, they've been always, checking in those top four, positions until of recent, when I think they decided, is it either the Europa League or is it the top four for the Premier League? And they decided we'll go to try to win the Europa League rather than fighting for the top four, which is a little bit scary with the likes of United, Tottenham, and Arsenal all chasing that. So this season, I think if you ask me, one surprise, the surprise element of the season, I might as well, I'm honestly going to say, I might as well say West Ham. Because listen to this. This season, they played 34 games and collected 52 points. They're 8 points behind Arsenal, who are sitting in fourth. And you remember, there was that long time when they were sitting in the top four and they were very, very, very comfortable. And all of us thought they had a very, very great chance to just go above, everyone else, the likes of Arsenal, Spurs, and United, and finish in a top four spot. I think they've not done that. But that really doesn't mean they're not good enough. They're 3 points behind Manchester United with a better goal difference. United have a game in hand. That means if they beat us, United drop to 7th, and West Ham rise to 6th. Something that we really do not want. We want to beat West Ham, so we are not really trying to give them any kind of morale. But if you look at their last 5 games and we compare with ours, their last 5 games have been a little bit atrocious. They have lost 3, drawn 1, and won 1. So their form is actually not that good. Actually, in their last 3 immediate games, they have only picked up 1 point and lost 2 of them. So that shows you that they're not really that good. And coming into this Arsenal side, despite the fact that Arsenal have also lost 3 of their last 5 and won 2 of those, I think West Ham coming into this game with a lot to lose than Arsenal. Oh, okay. Maybe not a lot to lose than Arsenal because, again, we have that top four race. But this is what I mean. Within a space of 1 week, they have to qualify for the finals of the Europa League, and then they also have to make sure that they don't lose to London rivals Arsenal, and they just need. I think what they will need is they'll need that kind of reassurance that even if we do not make it to the finals, or if we do not win the Europa League, then we can directly go to the qualify for the Europa League. It will be an embarrassment if they do not win the Europa League this season and then they do not even qualify for the Europa League this season. I mean, judging by the standards of their season, it will be an embarrassment. So I think, look, they're gonna come into this game. They lost 2-1 against Frankfurt. I'll speak more about that game and I'll tell you how Frankfurt beat them. Frankfurt was so lucky to beat them. Very, very lucky. But then we'll look at the average positions in that game and what Frankfurt really did better to beat West Ham. Because honestly, they lost the game, right? So, but their last game, they lost to Frankfurt in the first leg of the semi-finals of the Europa League. That means that at any rate, at any point, it's going to be West Ham are going to be thinking, how do we come into the Arsenal game? Just a minute, all right? I cleared that out. So I think West Ham are going to come into this game thinking, how do we, probably try to balance the board, right? We lost to Frankfurt, and then we have to beat Arsenal and go and beat Frankfurt again. That is going to be very, very hard. So I think they'll decide, we will keep every bit of our energy for the Frankfurt second leg because it's winnable. It's absolutely winnable. If you look at how they played against Frankfurt and how they pressed and how they pressed Frankfurt against the wall, it is really clear that Frankfurt was so lucky to come out of that game with the win. Right? Frankfurt didn't deserve anything in that game. So I think David Moyes will go and will be thinking, I either put everything in this Arsenal game and lose against Frankfurt, something they do not want, because honestly it's more realistic for them to go and win the UEFA Europa League than fight for the top four. So I think that is something that we should capitalize on as Arsenal Football Club. And also the fact that they are tired. They played on Thursday, they're playing on Sunday, and playing on Thursday again. They're tired, right? Mentally, emotionally, physically, they are tired. We need to take advantage of that. See you in the next one. Hit the like button as well for me, and let me know your predictions, because I'll give you my predictions later on.